KCAA.
Hello and welcome to Building Solid Foundations Radio. This is your host, Steve Matley, and today we are talking real estate investing and doing flips and construction and rehabs and multifamily and all kinds of good stuff with Andrew Greer. Andrew Greer runs a group called Brewari, and we're going to talk a little bit about that as well. Andrew, I've met through several of the local real estate investment associations. He is prolific in the business, and I've got some questions for him. And Andrew, first of all, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And of course, I love talking real estate. As the listeners know, I have a lot of shows about different things, but a lot of them come back to real estate and construction management and those type of things. But the first question I have for you has really nothing to do with construction and nothing to do with real estate developing. And that is, you always have an extra appendage coming alongside of you in the form of a baseball bat. And so I'm curious, why are you carrying a baseball bat everywhere you go?
Yeah, no, this is actually a pretty funny story. I was looking to get a speaking gig at Lab Coat Agents Live. It was a large event, about 600 real estate agents came to, and I was going to a mastermind up in San Francisco, and the gentleman, Tristan Ahumada, who runs the whole event, was going to be there. So I wanted to make an impression on him. So I bought a bat. And on it, I put, if you give me 50 minutes on stage, I'll bring the wood. And bring the wood is from, if you remember the Saints going to the Super Bowl,
right?
Reggie Bush came out with the bat to bring the wood. The woo hit, like it's a phrase from football, essentially. So I brought that bat, walked into the mastermind, slammed the bat down on the desk in front of Tristan in the middle of the event. And from there, he gave me the speaking gig, and ever since then, I've taken the bat with me everywhere. I make a new bat every year, so I have a different bat every year, so I'm on my 5th bat now since then. And yeah, that's why I do it, so I can bring the wood and just remember to bring the energy each time.
All right, so you explained you got the baseball bat, you got your gig. That's a great story, and I think it's a good hook because everywhere I've seen you, no matter where you show up, you're carrying that bat with you. And it's become, I guess, your trademark, your brand. What do you call that?
Yeah, it's a trademark. It's easy to pick me out in a crowd.
That's right.
Yeah, the guy with the bat. So
okay.
it becomes real easy, and it's if I'm up on stage, it's very comforting.
Okay.
So
now, when you go to your meetups, you're doing all these in brew pubs and places like that. How do the bouncers and owners feel about somebody walking into an alcoholic establishment with a baseball bat in their hand?
You know, it's I've thought that I would get pushback, and I actually have never gotten pushback. I mean, I had it in the Ritz-Carlton at an event that I spoke at, and we were hanging out all night there, and nobody even walked up and asked me a question about it. So,
interesting. Nobody asked why you brought a baseball bat to a meeting.
Well, I mean, people asked,
okay.
But not security.
Security, okay.
Security didn't ask.
Okay, they didn't say, yeah, we don't need that kind of violence here. Right? So,
exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So that was just a point of curiosity of my own because I always see you with that, and I think it's an interesting story for our listeners. Now, you do a mix of different type of projects. One is the infill, urban infill, multifamily. Mm-hmm. Why do you choose that niche? There's so many different things you can do in real estate out there. So many ways to get involved. Why did you choose that?
You know, I grew up. Or I didn't grow up. I spent my time after college in a highly dense neighborhood here in San Diego, North Park, North Park, Golden Hill, and I really enjoyed the neighborhood, the vibe, the craft beer, all the cool restaurants. And as I started getting into real estate, I grew out into doing these projects that were in these local neighborhoods. And through density bonus programs, which are provided by the state and then now provided by the city of San Diego, you're able to do larger projects on smaller lots if you're adding an affordable element to it. So doing that and building out, really like monumental buildings in these neighborhoods that are expanding is a lot of fun. I enjoy it. I love I love doing murals on our projects. I love doing architectural features that make people excited to come home. So really, I've driven after that, and then just maximizing density. It's
so when you say monumental buildings, how do you define that? What makes that different than just your standard block of apartments?
We like to add something to each building that, if I say, oh, our building with the cactuses on it, people are going to, oh, I know exactly what building you're talking about.
Landmarks.
Yeah, so definitely landmarks, and our aloe vera project. Oh, I know that project. Like it's people will know what it is just by saying that because they're driven by it, 20 times, but it sticks out and it's got a special vibe to it from that.
Okay, so you're not only providing rental residences, you're providing public art as
Yes.
well.
Yeah. That's we like to do the public art, the murals, and all that, and we also use local artists for these. It ties it to the community. I mean, it's no trick that it helps us get better rents and ingratiate the community to us as well, to make our projects better. But we love it because we just get to stay local and do everything local. I'm very San Diego based with everything.
And what's the scale of your typical type urban project?
Yeah, so right now we range between 10 units to 35 units. We have an 80 unit and a 60 unit under contract right now.
Oh, those are big.
So we're getting up there in size, but the biggest project out of all of those covers a half acre. So they're highly dense.
Okay, and you're building out, not up. Is that right? You're kind of more low rise.
Yeah, we haven't gone anything above low rise, so we don't even go into podium construction yet. One of the projects right now, we have proposal to actually do our first podium on one of our projects to get a little bit more height. And that's a whole nother process, working through with consultants and making sure we're not making mistakes and making sure that we're building it where it's still going to have the right ROI for everybody involved in the end. But yeah, so all mid-rise, low-rise.
Yeah, those are becoming very popular. I remember doing podium construction, I mean, decades ago when they weren't quite as popular. People thought it was odd that we were mixing, gee, that building's half concrete, and then they're building like a wood house on top of it. We used to call them sticks on a stage, is what we referred to them as. I did a lot of those in areas, I would say Long Beach, some of the coastal, more dense, but they were, mid-rise type stuff. We're talking, 5, 6, 7, 8 floors.
Okay,
that we
yeah.
were doing, taking up an entire city block.
Very cool.
Yeah, so I did a lot of, and those are actually great. They're great projects to do because you're not into the crazy heavy equipment of doing high rises. Those are a whole different animal. It's a different set of contractors, different types of contractors you got to work with, different consultants, different design, different inspections. This is one where you got the kind of, it's commercial on the bottom and it's residential on the top. And I always think of it as the residential building version of a mullet.
Okay.
So, business
perfect.
on the bottom, party on the top, right?
That's great.
So, are those your favorite type of project?
Yeah, definitely those. Anything that's in a community that needs and wants for more housing. It's obviously works for us because we have our supply right there, so it's going to be great for us. And then it gets to keep people close to these hubs and urban centers that they want to be around. So I really enjoy that.
It's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So the great thing about suburbia is you get a really nice big house and a yard and all that kind of stuff, and there's probably nicer schools and bigger parks. But in the urban area, you get shows, you get restaurants, you get brew pubs, you get concerts in the park, you get all the stuff that happens in a more. It's not truly in the downtown like the concrete jungle of a Manhattan. But at the same time, it's dense enough to get all the great benefits of a great culture, great neighborhood.
Yeah, exactly. It's where you want to figure out if you were on vacation, you'd want to end up there because the best restaurants there, and it's
Right.
where the best local stuff is. So
Yeah, I live in Bankers Hill, which is probably not. It's probably as dense as North Park, but because most of the restaurants and bars are either in Hillcrest or downtown or Little Italy. There's a nice little pocket in between. Balboa Park's right there, and so you're accessible to every bit of it. It's not quite so crowded as the parking situations and those kind of things that you get, but you still have that vibrant life. You're right there, close to everything. So
yeah, and you got great sushi at Hane right there. So
and a fantastic view out one
Yep.
direction, and one of the best urban parks in the world the other direction.
by far one of my favorite parts of San Diego.
Yes, yeah, I love it up there, and of course the cool breeze every day. I want to ask you, before we move on to this, I'm asking you what your favorite kind of project. I know you, like me, have worked in an element of construction that is not neither one of our favorite types of projects, but it made money, and that was custom homes. Are you still involved in that, or have you moved away from that?
Yeah, so yeah, we have 3 right now, actually in Bankers Hill.
Okay.
So kind of midtown Bakersfield because it's just around the ridge. Uh, they're going to be great properties. I'm really excited for them, but it's not my favorite type of construction.
Yeah, they're a lot of effort and a lot of work.
Yeah, and these ones we had a lot of entitlement permitting issues on these to get through, and we've gotten through it, so it feels like a weight off our shoulders, but now we're to the construction, and that's the still the hard part.
Now, are these ground ups, or are you doing rehabs of the older homes in the area?
These are ground ups. So
Okay.
we did a tear down, and then we did a small lot subdivision and turned one lot into three, and we're building 3 single family homes.
Are these townhomes?
They're technically single family. They all have their no shared walls.
No shared walls. Okay.
And small separation in between them, only 3 feet between. So each one has a 1.5 foot setback. So
And
they're
are
tight.
you going to, in order to get square footage, because those are small lots? A lot of them are like they're doing these 3-story skinny little things. Yeah.
We're 3 stories with a roof deck.
You're right. Okay.
So, and it's panoramic views of all of San Diego.
Yeah, 15 feet wide and 40 feet deep, kind of a thing, or
Yeah.
60 feet deep, whatever. Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah, I worked on some of those up in the Los Angeles area in the past. Did a lot of I did townhomes, did some condos. I did some of those too, row homes, what we called them.
Mm-hmm.
They were separated.
Yeah.
And they're all interesting kinds of projects, but you're right. When you look at what is the level of effort and the time and the brain damage I get compared to the square footage and the number of units I get out of it, you have to do that ROI. We're going to take a short break. We come back, we're going to talk a little more about construction, real estate investing, and kind of the general business. I'm going to talk a little bit with you about how where you see the business going, where you see the future of this. This is Building Solid Foundations Radio. I'm your host, Steve Matley, and we will be right back.
Fire Up Connect is the most innovative business networking group, supporting and collaborating with a dozen of small businesses that are interested in building and establishing strong business connections, hosting educational live seminars while carrying out business and community-driven projects, as well as marketing programs as a part of its membership program. Fire Up Connect also offers virtual assistance with a wide range of services including inbound customer support, chat support, appointment setting and email management, graphic designing, video editing, web design and development, social media marketing, e-commerce solution, content writing and much more. For more information, head on over to www.fireupconnect.com. Fire Up Connect, helping success stories unfold every day.
Hi, this is Steve Matley. As a construction professional, I know the importance of selecting the right contractor for the job. Power Solar employs only professional installers. Power Solar will provide a knowledgeable consultant to help analyze your current electric bill, identify site placement, and correct solar technology for your home. Contact KCAA producer at gmail.com for a free financial savings proposal with no obligation, or call 951-551-1350 and ask for Ken. Again, that's KCAA producer at gmail.com or 951-551-1350 and ask for Ken. Welcome back to Building Solid Foundations Radio on KCAA Radio. We are coming to you today from KCAA in Redlands, and we are also available on your favorite podcast platforms. Check us out. Today in the studio, I have Andrew Greer. Andrew Greer runs Brewari, and I think before I get into where the industry is going, I want to quickly ask, what is Brewari? Why did you start it, and what's it all about?
Yeah, so Brewari is our monthly meetup. We get together, we enjoy craft beer. It's come as you are. It's a free event to attend, and we just invite anybody who's an agent, an investor, someone wanting to get into investing to come out and network. It's my idea from it came from going to networking events and different REI clubs, and there was always the networking before and after the event, and then the lesson or whatever who was speaking. And I said, you know what? Why don't we get rid of the speaking and just do the drinking and networking?
Okay.
And it's taken off. I mean, we'll have 100, 125 people come out to these events and network for 2-3 hours and enjoy some craft beer and have a good time.
It's very informal, no real agenda. Just show up and talk to people.
Yeah, literally no agenda. Just show up. Sometimes I make an announcement, but usually I don't.
Okay.
So
All right, and these are in rotating venues.
Yeah, we try and select a new brewery almost each time, or we go back to some favorites.
Okay.
And I just like to bring in business to the local breweries every Wednesday, ingratiate myself to these people that I've always loved, these brewers.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's great. I've tried a lot of different craft beer, met a lot of different master brewers, and had a good time doing it.
Fantastic. So that's available on Meetup. So people can go to Meetup and look for Brew RE, as
Yep.
in real estate, Brew RE. And Andrew Greer, he runs that, and that's on a monthly basis. Is that right?
That's a third Wednesday of every single month.
Third Wednesday of every month. So if you're out there looking for how do I connect with like-minded people that want to do real estate or find resources, or maybe you're just kicking the tires because you've been hearing people getting into it. You know, your neighbors are doing it. Maybe your brother-in-law made some money on this deal. And it's a great place to go start and pick some brains and talk to people in a pretty safe, non-pressure environment just to talk to people that are doing it.
Exactly.
Fantastic. Okay, so now I want to get back into where do you see the real estate business going? Where do you see, or what do you see as headed? I've heard people predict that we're in 2005 again, and we're heading for the downturn. I've heard people say that there's nothing going to go wrong with the economy for the next 10 to 15 years. We're just skyrocketing ahead, full steam ahead, and everything in between. Where do you see us?
So I think it's difficult right now to really have that magic looking glass that's going to tell you the answers. Because I know in March of 2020, I thought everything was going to tank. That's not what happened at all.
No, what happened was capital dried up very briefly. And of course, because people want to hold on to their money, when you're uncertain, you hoard your cash, right? What we learned out of that was that real estate was the best place to have your money. Everything else was a dicey deal. But
Exactly.
real estate was not just solid, but it exploded.
Yeah, it is an understatement how crazy it's gotten. Right now, so my market's San Diego. I really focus heavily in San Diego, and I lean on the regional housing needs allocation numbers. So how many housing units we need every year and what that looks like.
And that's a deficit. Been running a deficit for a while.
It's been running deficit since, I believe, 2005 is the last year we came even close.
2010 to 2020 was the decade with the lowest number of new housing constructed over the last 60 years.
Yeah, and we're supposed to hit 12,000 a year, and I don't think we've hit more than 7,000 once.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. We're running a deficit of 5,000 to 6,000 units per year.
Yeah. So I look at that. I am in the multifamily space, hold units, and do rentals. So as long as I can acquire property to put more rentals on it, I'm seeing great returns. I'm seeing everything go the way I want it. Now, as interest rates shift, as the market changes, where all of that's going to go, we're going to find out. But these incredibly low cap rates can't be sustained as interest rates go up. So refinancing capital out because we're not trying to sell anything, or taking our projects with a takeout loan and at completion, suddenly I'm planning for higher capital requirements on the syndications up front. So we're bringing more money in and projecting less money out. But we aren't worried about the rents. We're just worried about where we're going to get the leverage at.
Okay. So the funding's the issue. But even with interest rates creeping up, they're still historically low. When you look at interest rates over the past, 50, 100 years or whatever, we're still historically low.
Oh yeah. No, it's incredibly low. It's not, like we were saying several months ago, almost like free money. Right. Well, it kind of is with inflation still.
I was going to say,
So,
it's pretty close.
inflation
It's not keeping
still,
up with inflation at all.
Yeah, it's not keeping up with inflation, which basic economic principle, inflation higher than your interest rate, you're in a great position.
That's right.
So you just, as long as you have the cash flow coming in, that's exactly how you want to hedge that inflation, is with these real assets that are running with it, rents, different things of that nature. So for me, I'm not too concerned. I want to make sure we have capital requirements for if we have an issue on a takeout loan, that we have enough capital there, or that we don't have promises of returning all the capital. Maybe it stays in for a couple of years while we get things going. That's my current thought, and I was really wrong in 2020, so maybe I'll be really wrong in 2022.
We started several new projects in the end of 2019, beginning of 2020, and when everything shut down. We weren't sure where it was going. We just knew that the capital dried up briefly. And people that were going to invest decided not to. And I don't blame them, because I'm not going to put my money into a potential 2-year-long speculative real estate deal when I don't know what's happening with the world, right? It wasn't just here, it was the whole world, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it never happened, at least not in recallable history that I know of. We just shut everything down. So, but within, I want to say, 2.5 months, that was a different story. Phones were ringing off the hook, and people were saying, please take our money. We want you to take our money and go grow it and do things with it. And we've been booming ever since. Meanwhile, the values of the properties that we had, because we were in the suburban areas, and as people moved out of cities and into suburban areas and into rural residential areas, those values just skyrocketed. And so we saw our doubling of what we had on our performance. It was crazy. So it's been good. Now, is it sustainable like that? No, but it's still pretty solid, I think. So your personal business, where do you see that going? Are you going to expand out of San Diego? Are you going to go out of state? Are you staying right here?
I'm planning on staying right here. We really specialize on the tight infill deals in the sense that, building out high density, we have a lot of opportunity here. And as the zonings become even more favorable to the developers and we've built a footprint, we're getting even more opportunities. So I don't see any reason to go out of San Diego. If I do every deal in San Diego, I'll probably venture out, but I don't think I will.
Okay. And it's still a market. And so if you're listening, if you're not in San Diego, look in your own market in your backyard, and you'll probably find out there's great opportunity right there. And you know your market better than you know anything outside of it. Now, our company, we do projects out of state. But having said that, I have partners out of state. And so we work where we know people and we know the market. But it's really a good business model to try and work where you know the area, you know the people, you know the trends, you know the neighborhoods, you know what people want, you know what their tastes are. And I think that's a very good business model, especially when you're renting, because you need to be able to have appeal to the most number of people.
Exactly. It's a big thing we focus on is there's a lot of general plan changes. We started buying all around those, knowing that, hey, there's going to be restaurants here. This is going to be a fun spot. This is going to be cool. This is the next upcoming neighborhood, before people saw it coming, and it's really paying off for us.
And that's a key. If you want to do that, of course, that's available for free online. Every city, every county has a general plan. There's a zoning plan, which is what is. There's the general plan as what we'd like it to be as it changes. And if you can buy something that is next to where you know the city wants to make changes. They want to take an old industrial area and turn it into a entertainment district or something like that with restaurants and brew pubs and those kind of things, theaters. If you know that there's a major project coming up, for example, Point Loma area right now, sports arena redevelopment, old post office redevelopment, the Navy's Old Town complex redevelopment. All that is very close to each other in one area. So I'm thinking maybe pick up one of the dumpy little things over on Kurt Street. That may be a good investment right now, because that area is on 3 different sides is being redeveloped, and major new projects and a lot of money coming in.
Yeah, I actually grabbed a property over there and just flipped it with plans based on that general plan, all the changes going through the Midway District, everything that was being proposed, and had a good little return just on a little 7-month turn and burn.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's honestly, if you wanted to spend 45 minutes on Google, you could find all that information out and know exactly where you want to go and where you want to invest your money if you're looking to ride the wave of appreciation as neighborhoods. They change, they grow, they enhance, and I think it's a necessary thing, because you got an old house that's got 8 bedrooms in it that's left over from 100 years ago. And you can have one family, you could try to split it up into kind of rent it, but you got to add kitchens to every unit. When you could tear it down and you could build a 10 or 12 unit building in there with all brand new, modern, safe, up to code apartment units, and have a great cash flow out of that.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's one of our favorite things to do.
Yeah. And it improves the city. You know, one of the missions of my company is we try to improve the neighborhood and the community as well as just improve our own bottom line. We're going to have to take another break. We're going to be right back after this. We're with Andrew Greer on Building Solid Foundations Radio. Don't go anywhere.
I love how new school is able to help me greatly with my career.
Because they actually have experience working in the field.
The greatest thing about new school is the fact that there are so many different disciplines, which allows you to really understand and get a good insight into different types of design. And I think it's that whole changing mindset of what design can really do for a city, and this is kind of the place to be.
This environment cultivates creative thinking.
Fire Up Connect is the most innovative business networking group, supporting and collaborating with a dozen of small businesses that are interested in building and establishing strong business connections, hosting educational live seminars while carrying out business and community-driven projects, as well as marketing programs as a part of its membership program. Fire Up Connect also offers virtual assistance with a wide range of services including inbound customer support, chat support, appointment setting and email management, graphic designing, video editing, web design and development, social media marketing, e-commerce solution, content writing and much more. For more information, head on over to www.fireupconnect.com. Fire Up Connect, helping success stories unfold every day.
Hi, this is Steve Matley. As a construction professional, I know the importance of selecting the right contractor for the job. Power Solar employs only professional installers. Power Solar will provide a knowledgeable consultant to help analyze your current electric bill, identify site placement, and correct solar technology for your home. Contact KCAA Producer at gmail.com for a free financial savings proposal with no obligation, or call 951-551-1350 and ask for Ken. Again, that's KCAA Producer at gmail.com or 951-551-1350 and ask for Ken. Welcome back to Building Solid Foundations Radio. I'm your host, Steve Matley. Today we're talking to Andrew Greer. Andrew Greer, if you want to connect with him, is at SanDiegoDeveloper.com. SanDiegoDeveloper.com, or you can catch him at AndrewThomasGreer.com, or go to Meetup. That's the best place, I think. Go to Meetup, check out Brewari, join him, have a beer, meet a bunch of people. Doesn't cost anything, just, a little bit of gas to get there, maybe some parking, and that's about it. And you get to meet a lot of great like-minded people doing all kinds of different things in real estate. And if you're just kicking the tires, that's a good place to start. So Andrew, I want to ask you, we just mentioned the websites, but aside from that, how can people get involved with you?
Yeah, there's a few different ways. One, we raise capital for deals. So if anyone's looking to invest in infill development, they can reach out on that. Myself or my team actually helps people buy property as well. So if they're looking to buy or sell property, we can help out with that. And then additionally, if you have a piece of land or something you're looking to find out what you can do, you can either bring me on as a consultant, or if it turns into a good enough deal, we can sign an equity agreement and go after it and raise capital and get it done. So I've done all those things. Those are all different ways to work with me and, see if we have some symbiosis in business.
Okay. And maybe I'm a person that wants to get involved in real estate but doesn't really know how. I don't know where to start. Are you open to, even if they're not sure if they want to invest, if they want to buy land, just to talk with you and kind of figure, is there something to do here?
Yeah, no, that's really one of the main reasons I set up Brewari, was to create those conversations where people could come, know I'm going to be in a place at a certain time, and have that conversation and see if it is even worth it or if they're what they're looking for. I'll tell you this, it's always going to be worth it. It's just going to be a matter of if you really want to do it or if you have the time. That's
right.
The biggest thing.
Yeah, so my experience has been that everybody that is successful doing real estate started not knowing what they were doing, completely unsure, not knowing who to talk to, scared to death to some degree, and they just did something. And sometimes the first thing they did, they decided, I don't want to do that again, I want to do something different. Other times they did something and said, that was the best thing I've ever done in my life, let's do that again. And everything in between. But they just did something. And you can plan and you can talk and you can watch HGTV, you can do all that kind of stuff, but you've got to at some point actually pull the trigger and do something, even if what that something is making an intentional effort to go talk to people doing it and get some information. And you're never going to be in a position where you've educated yourself enough that you feel like you're fully confident doing everything you're doing. That's not going to happen. You'll spend your whole life learning and never executing if that's your approach.
Yeah, you have to take a step in the direction and actually do something. I see a lot of people that come for 3-4 years and still haven't done a deal.
Yeah.
They're still talking about it, and you just got to pull the trigger and do it.
Yeah, I did a talk a couple weeks back, and it was kind of a little bit about what keeps people from doing things, procrastination. We always think of procrastination as I'm doing something like streaming movies or, doing something completely a waste of time instead of doing what I'm supposed to. I don't see that as the most insidious type of procrastination. I see the two I see is I'm doing something that is highly productive and valuable instead of doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Like I'm learning more and more about I'm going to learn about mortgages. Well, now I'm going to learn about materials and methods. Well, now I'm going to learn about architecture. Now I'm going to write. And I keep doing that instead of actually going out and doing something. And what it is a form of procrastination. But I don't call it that because I'm doing something that's valuable.
Yeah.
But not what I should be doing if I ever want to do this, if I'm ever going to apply this. The other thing I see is the perfection. When I get everything, I get my website just exactly the way I want it. Oh. And then I get the photo exactly the way I want it. And I've got everything perfect. Then I can go out and look like I'm professional. That's never going to happen.
Never going to happen.
Never going to happen. You have to take what's good enough and move on with it. And guess what? You're going to change it and improve it over time.
Yeah, done is better than perfect.
Exactly.
It's the way it is, and I remember when I was worried about my website, and now I look at it and I'm like, we need to update it. It's been like 4 years.
Right. So, but you got it out there.
We got it out there, and just so it's there so people can find us. But it's funny. We have buildings that have been rented out for 18 months that it's the grading being done on the site.
Right.
So we got to do some updating.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm really bad at it too. I set up a good website for our company, and I hired a really great webmaster who did a fantastic job on it. He actually did. I have two companies. He did both the websites, but I'm really bad at social media, and I'm really bad at being a content updater on the websites. So I was at least a year and a half out of date, and I finally sent him a bunch of stuff at the end of December and said, can you just make this whole long laundry list of updates and changes to our website? And he went and did all that. It took him less than a day, and he sent it back, and I got a bill for it. It was really quick. I'm like, why did I wait so long? Well, I don't like it. I like doing my projects.
Yeah, that's
what I'm good at. That's what I know. I like teaching construction management at the college. I do that. But I don't like, so like I do the same thing everybody else, procrastinate because I found other more productive things that I could do, but I do need to do that. My website is where investors come to find me and where they vet me.
Yeah, that's key. It is funny. It's you get in those. I love finding deals. I love getting them through permitting, but
the game.
You also got to get people in to be part of it.
Right. And there's all the parts of the business you don't like, but they support the stuff you do like. I have two partners in my business. One of them lives in Florida. We're a Florida C Corporation, and he loves the land acquisition. He loves the game because we never buy anything that's listed ever. We're out searching, and it's empty land, right?
Yeah.
And so it's not like you can go up and knock on a door. There's no door to knock on. There's weeds. It's usually fallow agriculture land or something like that. But he loves that game. He loves negotiating and structuring the deal, trying to make things work, in all kinds of creative ways. And I asked him, I said, were you ever going to retire at some point? And he said, no. He said, I love getting up and playing the game every day. And boy, you can find something like that. And if there's a niche of this business that you can do that, you can make money at this business.
Yeah, no, it's so true.
So are you looking at adding anything beyond the urban multifamily to your portfolio of projects?
I want to move into some more commercial in the future, and
what kind of commercial? There's a lot of different kind of commercial out there.
So commercial in the sense of mixed use in our multifamily.
So you're talking retail hospitality mixed with residential.
Yeah, retail hospitality mixed with residential.
And that's where you get into the podium stuff.
Yes, exactly. Right. So that's what our next evolution is. And then my long-term, long-stated goal is that I want to build a stadium or a concert venue before I retire. So I want to find my way into that business over the next 20 years. That way that can be one of my final projects.
So the big ones get built by the really big companies, but there are the amphitheaters and the theaters and the other types of event venues out there.
Yeah.
Soccer stadiums and a lot of things that you can do.
Yeah, we're going to do it. I know we're going to do it. It's been the
plan. And what drives you to want to do that? That's very different than, to own it and manage it or just to build the thing?
Own, manage. is really what
An
I
event
want to do.
center.
Yeah, I really want to do it. Drives. I enjoy entertainment. I enjoy those things. I enjoy bringing people together. It's been one of my favorite things, and doing something like that, it was really what sparked me to actually flip my first house, because I started flipping over a decade ago, and it was because I wanted to raise money, because I wanted to do that. So I've slowly moved myself into construction, moved myself into syndication, moved myself to bigger projects, and just going to continue down that path until we get there.
Fascinating. I've been involved in a couple of stadium projects in a small way, because those are how many thousands of people work on those things in different areas. Yeah, and they're very interesting. I was involved in theme parks. Those are very different.
Oh, that seems like a different beast.
It's a different beast. It's a little of everything in there, because it's a little bit of residential, it's a little bit of commercial, it's infrastructure, it's a lot of different things in there. Fascinating.
Yeah.
All those rides are mechanical engineering.
Yeah, and the infrastructure has got to be insane for how to set those parks up.
Yeah. And the urban planning of it, all that stuff is just it's insane. And those are fun. It's not the main things I did. Those were one-off type deals, an odd project here or there. And that's what I really loved about the business. Right now we do probably what most people think is the most boring type of real estate project out there, and that's raw land. Empty land that doesn't change from the day we buy it to the day we sell it. Legally, it's different. But you can't point to anything and say, I built that, because I didn't build anything. What do you say? I had some studies done and a map drawn on that. Who cares?
I think it sounds like a lot of fun.
we thoroughly enjoy it. We love it. And not too many people understand it.
Yeah.
But we actually thoroughly love it. And it's quite lucrative for us, and it's a lot of fun. But it's not something that's it's not something you're going to win awards for. It's not something that people are going to say, oh, that's so cool. But that's okay. We like it.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun to me.
Yeah. So, I don't know if you know, I'm involved in architecture in the community because I teach at an architecture college. I run the construction management programs. So I'm going to be looking forward to some of your future projects around the city being nominated for, Orchid Awards and those type of things. So
we have a really cool one coming up by an architect that actually has won Orchids. So we have Steve Dalton doing one of our projects right now, and I'm very excited about it.
So that'd be great, because the school I work at is one of the sponsors of that event, and so it'd be great to see you up there. And I don't always agree with their selections, but then I'm not an architect by trade. So
I've liked some of their onions even, but
I have too,
because I like the statement. So
I've liked some of the onions better than I liked some of the orchids. But again, I'm not trained in architecture, so maybe I'm not always know what I'm looking at. But it's okay. So we're gonna have to wrap this up. I want to do a quick summation here. If you want to learn about real estate, I highly encourage you to go to Meetup. Check out Brewari, go to one of their events, go to multiple of their events. They're every month. Check them out. It doesn't cost you anything other than just to show up, and showing up is the first step. And even if you are just thinking about this, you're sitting at home, you watch some shows, you maybe saw some YouTube videos or heard some people talking, you're like, I wonder if we can do that. I encourage you to do that. Or go to sandiegodeveloper.com. And I want to thank Andrew for his time today on the show and sharing his expertise. It's always just an actual pleasure to have people to come in and take their time to share with myself and with the audience what they know about the real estate business or whatever their area of expertise is. This is Building Solid Foundations Radio. We're going to be back to wrap this up. Andrew's going to move on. I'm going to wrap this up and put a bow on this episode right after this commercial break. Don't go anywhere. This is Steve Matley on Building Solid Foundations.
I love how New School is able to help me greatly with my career.
Because they actually have experience working in the field.
The greatest thing about New School is the fact that there are so many different disciplines, which allows you to really understand and get a good insight into different types of design. And I think it's that whole changing mindset of what design can really do for a city, and this is kind of the place to be.
This environment cultivates creative thinking.
Fire Up Connect is the most innovative business networking group, supporting and collaborating with a dozen of small businesses that are interested in building and establishing strong business connections, hosting educational live seminars while carrying out business and community-driven projects, as well as marketing programs as a part of its membership program. Fire Up Connect also offers virtual assistance with a wide range of services including inbound customer support, chat support, appointment setting and email management. graphic designing, video editing, web design and development, social media marketing, e-commerce solution, content writing and much more. For more information, head on over to www.fireupconnect.com. Fire Up Connect, helping success stories unfold every day.
Real Men of Real Estate with Steve Matley, construction manager and real estate developer, business owner, and educator.
Did you know that right now there's 22,000 units deficit?
Tunde Ogunwale, real estate development professional, Naval Academy grad, and veteran with a deep understanding of the public sector process.
All of us want to live in thriving communities.
Brian Fox, real estate expert and investor, dedicated to helping hundreds of clients make money in real estate every year.
There's so much housing going in.
The builders are begging for more land.
Future company can come in, lease up space to employ those people who are living in the homes.
We have to put the housing in place.
We either have to have houses.
They want to make sure that there's a strong employment.
Logistics centers, things like information hubs. We are a shipping economy now. There's economies all over the country where their prices are doubling and tripling.
Hi, this is Steve Matley. As a construction professional, I know the importance of selecting the right contractor for the job. Power Solar employs only professional installers. Power Solar will provide a knowledgeable consultant to help analyze your current electric bill, identify site placement, and correct solar technology for your home. Contact KCAA producer at gmail.com for a free financial savings proposal with no obligation, or call 951-551-1350 and ask for Ken. Again, that's KCAA producer at gmail.com or 951-551-1350 and ask for Ken. Welcome back to Building Solid Foundations Radio. This is your host, Steve Matley. I want to thank Andrew Greer again for being in the studio with me today. We had a fantastic discussion learning about real estate investing, learning about building. And, you know, I've been in this industry for many decades, and I'm always fascinated to listen to other people that have had different experiences doing the industry as well. Everybody has their own take on it. Everybody has their own little niche that works out. And we find out there's commonalities between us and very big differences as well. It was interesting to me. I did not know Andrew had worked in custom homes and still was, because I had done that in the past as well. And it is a very different niche of the industry than multifamily. Of course, now my niche is very different. It's land acquisition and development and entitlement processing. But all of them are valid. And one thing, if you're interested in getting into this game, or if you're in the game and you want to look at something different within real estate, look around and talk to people. Go to real estate investor clubs, go to the meetups, and talk to people, and you'll find out that there are so many different angles and so many different types of projects and so many different ways you can do things, and you may find that passion project that works for you. You may find something that is more enjoyable than what you're doing now. You may find that it's less scary getting in because the projects you know about are just the typical kind of fix and flip type stuff, and you find out, oh, there's all these other things out there too. If you like the fix and flips, those are good as well. Oh, they're a little more difficult to do in the current market, but they're still viable. One place to start, go to Meetup and search for Brewari. B-R-E-W, brew like the beer, R-E like real estate, Brewari. Those happen once a month in the San Diego area at rotating breweries. If you're not in the San Diego area, look up any real estate investor association or real estate investor network in your area. Within the broadcast area of KCAA, LA, and Inland Empire, there are at least a dozen clubs that I know of that are meeting in various places all around. And some are specialty clubs and some are general clubs. They meet on different nights of the week. Some meet on Zoom virtually. And it's just groups of real estate investors or people that are researching how to be a real estate investor that get together to talk, to share information. to share resources. A lot of getting into this business or doing well at it is having the right connections and the right people. And that's a place to start. You go start at places that are networking groups. You go to real estate investor networks. They don't just network, they also have education. They'll have featured speakers that come in. They'll talk about certain topics each month. A lot of them have little small groups or subgroups that specialize in certain areas. They'll have training sessions available. And they're all different. They're all different depending on who they meet, who they reach, who their target group is, what kind of projects are the favorites of the people in the club. But it's great to learn all of that. You will find answers to where can I find funding. You'll find answers to who can help me put together a budget or a pro forma for my project. You'll find answers to where can I find contractors. You'll find answers to how do I know what materials to use. You'll find answers to how do I figure out my zoning and what I can do in my own property. You'll find answers to code issues. You'll find answers to where do I find a designer. You'll find answers to how do I do the process of getting my permits, getting my plan check, getting approvals. You'll find answers to, should I convert my garage? Should I build a unit in the back? What should I do on my property? You'll find answers to, should I build a spec home? Should I build an apartment building? Should I buy an existing apartment building, fix it up? Should I buy a house and flip it? By talking to people, you'll get answers that fit your particular passions, bents, desires, skills, experience levels, and find something that doesn't just make money, because almost anything you do in real estate is going to make money if you do it right. But almost anything you do in real estate can lose money if you do it wrong, or if you really don't care for it, you're just doing it for the money. If you have a passion for it and you enjoy it, you can make money. In my company, we have things that we do that are different than other companies because we buy empty land. We buy empty land and we bring investors in through syndications. We put the maps, we entitle it. We get legal permission from the local agency to do something different than what's on the land right now. Generally, it's empty land and it's all one big fat parcel. And instead of farming it, you can break it up into lots and sell it to builders, sell it to developers. You can develop it yourself and build it out. You can buy a lot, maybe you find a lot that's got a house on it. And when you look carefully at the zoning, you find out you can break that into 3 different lots. And maybe you can go divide those lots and then either sell the 2 off, or you can build on those 2 lots and make money if you can fund that. There's a lot of ways to go about this, and you can find your partner. So again, start with places like Brewari, and Andrew's runs it's a very informal, it's just networking. He'll show up, you can watch him, he can show you his latest baseball bat and explain why he carries it again. It's a lot of fun. You can go to, I'm on the board of an association in San Diego called San Diego Creative Investors. It's the oldest and largest of the real estate investor clubs in San Diego. I also attend the San Diego Impact Real Estate Investor Network, which is in Mission Bay area of San Diego. I'm a member of Private Lending Masters, which is out of Rancho Bernardo, and that's where in specialty where they teach people how to become the bank, how to invest in real estate using their self-directed IRAs and self-directed HSAs, money they already have. I am a member of the Los Angeles Real Estate Investor Association that's been meeting virtually. Even now, it's still meeting on Zoom because they have a much bigger attendance online, and they can bring speakers in from far away that don't have to fly in. So all these different clubs are great places to go meet people. So I encourage you to get started, get out there, and don't wait. There's a lot of reasons to always say, maybe if I just wait until I have this, maybe I just wait till the economy does that, maybe if I just wait until interest rates go down, maybe I just wait until material prices go down. It's never going to line up perfectly, but there's always time to make money. It's always a good time to get in, again, if you ally yourself with the right people. So go find those people, get those connections, make it happen, and be aware of the most dangerous forms of procrastination out there. And that's where we want to study and educate ourselves to the point that we never get anything done. It's good to educate yourself. I'm a huge advocate of it. But at some point, you have to go apply that. And you can't just always be waiting to learn the next thing and learn the next thing. Go find other people that know it and take a step, even if it's a small step. Partner with other people. So get out there, get it done, and you'll find that it's not only lucrative, it's very rewarding and a lot of fun. So again, thank you to Andrew Greer for being on my show today. Check him out at his next Brewari event. This is Building Solid Foundations Radio, coming to you from KCAA 1050 AM, 102.3 FM, 106.5 FM, or catch us on your favorite podcast platform, iHeart, Spotify, SoundCloud, Google, Apple, or others. And we will be back next week with another show. I'm Steve Matley for Building Solid Foundations, saying have a great week.
Your stations claim to be local.